Now at 9, Indiana is moving into stage 5 of the coronavirus back on track plan. Ahead, what is more move to this Hoosiers?
Plus, a popular hashtag gets a local meaning.
And warmer weather this week, but cool weather moving on to next week. Just how cool would it get? I'll have all the details coming up in my full forecast.
From the heart of Ball State University, live from the Unified Media Newsroom, NewsLink Indiana starts right now.
We begin tonight with breaking news. Tensions are high in Louisville. One officer was shot as people protest following the news. An officer has been indicted in Breonna Taylor's case. Good evening, I'm Angelica Gonzalez.
And I'm Tara Konieczny.
The decision came 6 months after her death at the hands of the police executing a warrant. But the Kentucky Attorney General's decision to only charge one of the officers involved is not the outcome many people were hoping for. Daryl Forges is in Louisville with the latest.
After months of mounting pressure, a grand jury has announced 3 charges of wanton endangerment against Brett Hankinson, one of the officers involved in the March shooting death of Breonna Taylor.
The grand jury voted to return an indictment against Detective Hankinson for 3 counts of wanton endangerment for wantonly placing the 3 individuals in apartment 3 in danger of serious physical injury or death. The charge of wanton endangerment in the first degree is a Class D felony, and if found guilty, the accused can serve up to 5 years for each count.
Hankinson, fired from the force in June, is one of the 3 officers investigated by the Attorney General, but is the only officer who has been indicted by a grand jury. For those fighting for justice, these charges may not be enough. The decision comes on the heels of a historic wrongful death lawsuit settlement. The city of Louisville agreeing to both pay $12 million to the family of Breonna Taylor and institute sweeping police reforms.
It is landmark in its scope.
The 26-year-old EMT and aspiring nurse was killed back on March 13th when Louisville Metro Police executed a late-night warrant in a narcotics investigation. Taylor's death at the hands of police adding to the resounding calls for justice and accountability. Taylor's mother vows to fight until justice is done for her daughter.
I'll fight to the death of me for her.
In Louisville, Kentucky, I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
The state attorney general says the FBI will continue to investigate potential violations of federal law in Taylor's case.
The latest in coronavirus news tonight, the state lifting more restrictions and will soon move into stage 5 of Indiana's back on track plan.
NewsLink Indiana, Tyler Brummett joins us in the studio. Tyler, what does today's announcement mean?
Well, Angelica and Tara, this essentially means Indiana is open with almost no restrictions. The key word in all of that, though, almost. As we say goodbye to stage 4.5, the governor says masking up here in Indiana is here to stay.
It will go into effect, obviously, on Saturday. So Saturday morning, it will kick in, stage 5.
Governor Holcomb announcing news he says was months in the making.
We've come a long way. We don't want to give up that ground that we've advanced on.
Indiana advancing into stage 5 of its back on track plan. The move was originally supposed to happen on the 4th of July, but had to be postponed following a spike in cases during July and August. State Health Commissioner Dr. Christina Bach says while this is a step in the right direction, we're not out of the woods just yet.
All it takes is one outbreak or a group of people who don't wear masks or don't practice social distancing, and those numbers can spike quickly. It's absolutely imperative that we remember that this is not a return to life the way we knew it in January or February.
So what are the changes when Indiana moves into stage 5? Social distancing will still be recommended, especially for those over the age of 65 or those who are medically high risk. Most businesses will be able to operate at full capacity. Restaurants, including bars and nightclubs, can be open at 100%, but only if they can keep that social distancing.
Not every establishment will be able to operate at what was their previous full capacity because of that physical distancing and social distancing that must occur.
And while the state continues to reopen, Governor Holcomb wants people to be careful, but also hopes they feel safe.
I've said this before, I never miss a meal. I can vouch at so many restaurants.
And as Governor Holcomb said there, Indiana will stay in stage 5 with the mask mandate until at least October 17th. Holcomb says if need be, the state will roll back that reopening plan. He says that he will continue to follow the advice of medical experts. So of course, guys, this continues to develop.
So Tyler, what does this mean for students at Ball State?
Well, really right now, students, this isn't changing much for them per the state's mask mandate. Students will continue to have to mask up here at Ball State, as well as in all of those buildings across campus. No word yet on if there will be any modifications following today's announcement.
Okay. All right, Tyler, thank you.
And for the 9th day in a row, Ball State has had no new coronavirus cases reported through the partnership with IU Health. There were also no new cases self-reported today. Ball State has had a total of 984 positive cases since August 17th. It's estimated that 955 of those have recovered and only 29 are active. Indiana, on the other hand, is reporting that there are 728 new cases since yesterday.
Hashtag Save Our Children has been making an appearance on Facebook, Twitter, and other social media platforms. NewsLink Indiana's Annie Keister meet with a group of organizers to explain what this means here in Muncie.
You've likely seen the hashtag Save Our Children flooding your Facebook feed. The movement has officially made its way to Muncie. You can find the group on Facebook as, quote, Save Our Children Muncie. Co-presidents Amber McGinnigal and Samantha Clark say the purpose behind the social media presence is to raise awareness.
A lot of people just simply don't have the information about how big this really is.
The group has already held a rally walk through Muncie and is designing t-shirts.
We're just wanting to raise awareness so parents know, this is what you need to look out for. It really starts at home.
And for those involved in the movement, it's personal.
I grew up in pedophilia. I had family members assault me as a kid, and I vividly remember what went on.
Last year, my daughter was actually a victim. It really opened my eyes how common everything was. It happened to me when I was younger, the same age. She was 6 when it happened, and I still remember everything I was wearing.
Clark says the movement is about 3 things: ending human trafficking, pedophilia, and getting legislation to change the laws from in favor of the predators to in favor of the victims.
I want people to know that this isn't a conspiracy theorist. We're not associated with any other organization. In particular, we are reaching out to our police. We are reaching out to children advocacy groups, things like that, to help us protect our children. Because this is far too common, and the silence is deafening.
The two expressed the importance of rehabilitation for survivors, and while they noted that Save Our Children is an independent group, NewsLink Indiana also reached out to the Youth Opportunity Center on their program for survivor rehabilitation. The team is licensed to help adolescent girls who are court-ordered. They provide a number of services to help those victims.
Educational services, so they go to school. They receive intensive individual counseling, family counseling, group counseling, independent living services.
But until victims are found or are ready to come forward, Save Our Children will continue their presence to keep educating.
It's saving a life, and that's what we're here for. It's very serious. We want our children to not be broken kids and grow up to be broken adults.
In Muncie, Annie Keister, NewsLink, Indiana.
Save the Children Muncie plans to hold a fall carnival in October to remind kids and parents of ways to stay safe during the upcoming holidays.
The Better Business Bureau says scammers are using the pandemic to target college students. The organization says it's received reports about employment scams going after students. The scam begins with an email sent to a student's official school email address. In them, the scammer impersonates a professor or university department with a job offer. If accepted, the student receives a check and is told to send out some money, orders, or prepaid cards. Eventually, the bank alerts the student that the check is fake, but by then the scammer has their money and their personal information. And Ball State also just sent out an email warning students about the scam. Ball State said to watch out for emails with the subject line, Employment Internship Opportunities for Students. Ball State's email also said that no one affiliated with BSU sent the scam emails and plead students to not respond to them. They also said any questions should be directed to the Ball State Technology Help Desk. Chris, not so much fall weather today in late September. What's it looking like for this week?
Well, if you definitely love warm weather, then this is going to be your week. If you love cool weather, you're just going to have to wait just a little bit longer. Right now, current temperatures are going to be sitting in the mid-60s, 64 in Indianapolis and Shelbyville. For us here in Muncie, we're sitting at 69 degrees. Now, for most of the day, we've been seeing these cloudy skies, and that's going to stay persistent throughout most of the night moving into tomorrow morning. Now, temperature-wise, we'll be dropping down into the mid to lower 60s and even cooler than that. So what we're tracking right now, we're going to be tracking above average temperatures, lots of sunshine, and this cooler weather that we're going to be expecting next week. I'll have all the details coming up in my full forecast.
Thank you, Chris. Just ahead, tips on how you can keep your driving record clean. We've got the details.
Plus, a device we previously told you about is now getting pre-orders. All this and more up next.
Riding the bus is an easy thing to do. Last year, we carried 60,000 riders from the Ball State area. 50,000 of those were students. Anywhere you want to go, MITS will take you there.
So, I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that! That's disgusting! Oh, poop already! You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Welcome back. An average 41 million Americans receive traffic tickets each year. With those tickets come hefty fines and points on your driving record. NewsLink Indiana's Alex Almanza shows ways to keep your record clean.
You hear the siren. You see the lights, and we all know the drill. You get out your license and registration, you get a warning or a ticket, and you go home. But if you manage to get a ticket, you'll most likely just go online and pay the $100 to $200 fine. Now, I actually received a speeding ticket just 2 weeks ago here in Muncie. The fine? A whopping $150. To some, that might seem like a lot of money, but there are other options if you can't pay the price.
There's many options, and individuals should always explore the options because it can affect you for your life. It can affect you for your future and even your education.
Now, you can try to present your case in court. Usually if the officer who issues your ticket doesn't show up, they dismiss your ticket entirely. If they do show up, they give you one more chance to take an infraction diversion program. But what is an infraction diversion program?
That means if I'm eligible for the program, I sign an agreement, I pay my cost and fees, and with the passage of time, the offense is dismissed. That means no points.
And, of course, one more way to avoid the price of a speeding ticket is to not speed in the first place.
I would make sure that before operating my car, my lights work. I would make sure I'm not speeding. I would use my turn signals. I would also make sure that there's nothing illegal on my person and nothing illegal in my vehicle. And then always carry your proper identification. But because anyone can be stopped, and just because you're stopped doesn't mean you committed the offense.
In Muncie, Alex Almanza, NewsLink, Indiana.
And 2 weeks ago, we told you about the unveiling of the new Xbox Series S. But now pre-orders have officially started for both upcoming consoles. The pre-orders opened yesterday morning and they are already selling out. Xbox Series X and Series S will be released on November 10th. The Series X will cost $499, while the less powerful Series S is priced at $299. No word on how many will be available for the sale in a couple of months. But an Xbox Live executive tweeted that Microsoft will do all it can to make as many consoles available as possible. So since, Chris, the Xbox come out in fall, is there any hope for some nice fall weather coming soon?
Well, this week, definitely, I wouldn't say that will be the best time for that pumpkin spice coffee, but moving into next week, we'll definitely have more cooler weather. I'll have all the details coming up right after the break.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
One in 3 adults has pre-diabetes. That means it could be you, your favorite brother, your other brother,
Yes.
you, your football buddy, your football buddy, you, your plumber,
Breathe right into your foot.
your plumber's masseuse,
Yes.
you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. With early diagnosis, pre-diabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org.
Warmer weather is definitely here, but how long will it last? Well, it's going to be staying persistent throughout most of the week, but right now, looking at current temperatures, 64 in Indianapolis and Shelbyville. For us here in Muncie, we're sitting at 69 degrees. Now, we definitely have been only reaching the mid-70s. Today, high of 76, average high of 73 degrees. But look at our record, 98 degrees for today. Second day of fall, so it definitely was a very hot day when that actually happened. Now, throughout most of the day today, we had mostly clouds throughout most of the area today, and we're going to be seeing that persist throughout most of the night. Looking here in Precision Cast, most clouds staying in the area, bringing cloudy skies overnight into tomorrow morning. For tonight, temperatures definitely dropping down into the mid and lower 60s. We're going to even see temperatures reach into the mid-50s tonight, but then we rise right back up into a high of 81 degrees, mostly sunny skies, so it's definitely going to still feel more warm. Throughout most of the day tomorrow, we're going to be seeing it clear up. Tomorrow morning, clouds eventually move out of the area, and this will persist throughout most of the day tomorrow, leading into Friday afternoon hours. Now, as we look into our 5-day trend temperature, look at this. Temperatures hovering around the upper 70s, lower 80s throughout the rest of the week. But Monday, starting off next week, temperatures take a dip back down into the lower 70s. And this is all due to this cold air mass that's going to be moving in from the north. As we look into the Climate Prediction Center, below average temperatures for our area starting next week, above average warmer temperatures for you folks out in the west. So what do these colder temperatures bring? Well, it's going to be bringing us more fall temperatures, as well as the colorful, vibrant leaf colors that we like to see during the fall season. As you can see, our area would be around the mid to late October. We start seeing these vibrant leaf colors start taking into effect. So when will we start seeing these cool temperatures? Well, we'll take a look at the mid 7-day forecast. Throughout most of the week, we're going to be sitting around those upper 70s, lower 80s. Few slight chances of rain showers for the weekend, but then temperatures drop back down into the lower 70s, mid to lower 60s, 40% chance of some showers next Tuesday. So if you definitely love that pumpkin spice drinks or whatever you like, I would definitely say wait till next week, because this week is definitely not the week to have it with those warmer temperatures still staying into play.
Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Chris.
Tonight in sports, we'll take you back to 2008, where we'll look at a classic win for the Cardinals on the Get-A-Run.
And we'll look into this week's local high school football games.
Hey, did you know 2.4 million loving cats and dogs in shelters and rescues need our help to find a home? Let's go to the shelterpetproject.org and meet a few who are in a shelter near you. Harlow, oh, she's one great listener who loves to hear all your stories. My kind of cat. Cerulo is a sweet, goofy boy who's eager to please. Sounds just like another dog I know. So go to the shelterpetproject.org, search your local shelters and rescues, and go for a cuddle with your next best friend. Adopt.
Problems. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround a community's most critical problems, and we fight. United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Will you?
It doesn't take a scientist to cure hunger or a fancy economist to create safe housing. It takes imagination, creativity, sweat equity. And I think of kids going to school hungry. Hunger, homelessness. In this land of plenty, seriously? Come on, we could fix this. Help out, or don't. The choice is yours.
Weeknights, NewsLink Indiana brings you the news before you go to bed.
But Friday mornings, you're waking up with Cardinal weather. We've got the latest news headlines.
Freezing temperatures have set in all the way down in Louisiana.
One man dead after flooding in Venice, Italy.
Up to the minute weather conditions.
Cold temperatures are the story this morning.
And of course, lots of fun.
It is not
What
funny.
on earth is happening there?
I feel sorry for the little guy.
I've got my socks on. Annie with her curly hair, which is actually never curly. Join us Friday mornings at 8 on Facebook Live.
Good evening and thanks for sticking with us. I'm Blake Dahlier with sports. So far, the Wapahani cross country team is having things go its way. Winning might just be the new normal for the Raiders. The team dominating in their last two performances at the Muncie and Yorktown Jim Leffler Invites. The Raiders winning both of them and its first win at these events in school history to boot. Now with all this success, this raises the question, just how exactly do they do it? Coach Bo Stevenson saying he has his seniors to thank.
They've just been awesome, all right? When I think of them, they all have their own niche. They lead, you know, in different ways and with different things here. They each have their thing that they lead, whether it's dynamics or core or, you know, going through different workouts here. They do a great job of, you know, leading their own way.
Now their next meet is the New Haven Classic Saturday morning at 9 o'clock. Now switching gears from cross country to football as the weekend quickly approaches, let's take a look at the local high school football matchups going on in and around Delaware County. Starting off with the 7 o'clock slate, the Blackford Bruins playing host to the Elwood Panthers. Then the Westdale Warriors will be taking on the 2-1 Monroe Central Golden Bears. The Muncie Central Bearcats supposed to face the West Lafayette Harrison, but the game has been canceled after a Bearcat player testing positive for COVID-19. Picking things back up at 7:30, the Delta Eagles facing their interconference foe, the Newcastle Trojans, both teams sitting at 3-1. And wrapping things up, the 2-3 Yorktown Tigers having its homecoming game against Shelbyville. They're looking to bounce back from last week's loss at the hands of Newcastle. This week, they take on Shelbyville, as I said before. Now, everyone, be sure to check out NewsLink Indiana Sports Twitter page at NLI Sports. We're going to have more info on those games as well as live scoring updates this Friday. We also have polls posted, so be sure to make your picks and brag to your friends when you get those answers right. So now from high school to Ball State football, today we're looking back and remembering one of the most memorable Cardinal football victories in team history. On September 20th, 2008, the Cardinals traveling to Bloomington and taking down Lee Corzo and the Indiana Hoosiers. Former Ball State tight end Darius Hill saying he always knew they had a shot.
At the point I kind of knew was, I believe, late third quarter, early fourth quarter. Miles Trimp caught a long touchdown down the sideline.
And the Cardinals shutting out the Hoosiers in the second half, taking the 42-20 win. And with this victory, a special bond between their teammates that'll last a lifetime.
So winning those games always brings you together, closer as a team. And I mean, even when I get together with the guys now, 12 years later, we still talk about moments from that game and things that happened that time on the field, just like random stories. I mean, it's fun to look back on things like that with the guys for sure.
Now that 2008 team went undefeated in the regular season, then went on to lose the MAC championship and in the GMAC Bowl. They were also ranked as high as 12th in the AP College Bowl. Now Lions and Tigers and Bears, oh my. What a slate of high school games we have on tap here in Delaware County this weekend.
You know what, Blake? I saw the poll on NewsLink Indiana Sports, and I got to say I got the Delta Eagles.
I have to agree with Tara here. I kind of went for the Delta Eagles as well. They seem like they are doing pretty good.
Now, last week they lost their only game they've lost this year was against Mount Vernon. They're number 1 in the state, so to be expected, maybe some might say, but the Eagles doing well so far this year.
Thank you, Blake. Coming up, the Black Widow premiere date has been pushed back, when you can expect to see Marvel's new movie.
And a whale is finally free after being stranded for 2 weeks. Stay with us.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back. It's now time for our Anchor Pick stories. Marvel fans will have to wait longer for Black Widow to hit the big screen. The superhero flick starring Scarlett Johansson was set for release November 6th, but Disney pushed back the opening to May 7th. This is the second time the movie's release date has been delayed.
And authorities say a humpback whale is finally free after being stranded for 2 weeks in a crocodile-infested river in Australia. The animal's ordeal started when the 3 humpback whales swam into East Alligator River in Kakadu National Park. A spokeswoman for the park says they were spotted a week after they entered the river. Authorities believe 2 of the whales left, but one got stuck after apparently getting confused during migration. The whale was facing another dangers too, including the risk of a boat colliding with it and inadvertently pushing it further up the river. So since Chris thinking of oceans makes me think of summer, that's kind of how it felt like today.
Yes, definitely temperatures are going to be feeling warm and feeling warm throughout most of the week. Temperatures reaching the lower 80s to upper 70s and cooling off by next week.
And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.